Check out the Comic Outlaw on YouTube. Drop us a like, hit us up, and let us know what you like, what you don't like, and what you want to request, and what's feeling right. But right now, we're doing Fantastic Four issue 3. Yes, we're doing it old school. The legend Stan Lee and Jack the King Kirby. Yes, we're covering the Fantastic Four, and this issue is significant. It introduced one of my favorite vehicles of all time, the Fantastic Car, and their uniforms. And they're facing up against the menace of the Miracle Man. Now, of course, this is in the 60s, guys, so forgive some of the slang, the attitude. It's the way it was back then. It is what it is, but it's classic gold. Now, this sorcerer here is doing a show he calls out the Fantastic Four. Sort of makes fun of them a little bit. It ends up irritating Thing, like everything at this point irritates good old Ben Grimm. He's just coming to grips with becoming that monster. Of course, Sorcerer invites him up on stage, wants him to prove that these logs are real, so he smashes through one of them. Our little miracle sorcerer here pulls out one finger and slices right through it, and basically leaving Ben Grimm stunned. Now, Ben Grimm actually takes a swing at him and does nothing. Ben is absolutely surprised by this. Of course, Reed, Johnny, and Sue pull him off the stage before he decides to wreck the place and bring the house down, literally. And Reed says a good thing he's not a villain, but little does he know that this magician has other plans. And we also get our first look at the Baxter building, the inside of it. And I think this is just awesome. Yeah, some of the stuff's out of date and this and that, but it's just so cool. And we're catching up with Johnny Storm right now. He's going to go see a movie, The Monster from Mars. And he's really excited about this. And of course, Reed is, telling him, it's a movie and da 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 da, They're basically having their back and forth banter. Sue comes in showing off her incredible Invisible Girl outfit. I want you to notice that helmet they're putting on Ben Grimm. Years later, he will wear another helmet like that when he gets scarred in the face by Wolverine, when Johnny Storm impregnates a skull that he thought was Ben Grimm's ex-girlfriend, Allison Masters. Whew, that was a lot to say. But anyways, this monster from the billboard, the stand-in comes alive, and he just starts wrecking things. And the blink of our eye, poof, he disappears. And now the Miracle Man gives a little note saying he's declaring war on the human race. They split up in the Fantastic Car. Now this is a primitive version, of course, but I love how it splits up. It's cool. And Reed Richards entangles the beast by stretching himself back and forth. He sees the guy, but he ends up distracting him, letting him escape. And Reed's just kind of putting all the pieces together. This beast is after in a tank, a brand new tank, an atomic tank. This tank has all the sci-fi whistles and bells, of that time. And of course, they're chasing after the monster. The Thing decides to ditch the mask and the costume and goes for what will be his trademark look for most of his career as a Thing. He just kind of rips all that stuff off. And he did kind of look ridiculous with the shirt on, let's be honest. The Human Torch fires a fireball, and to everyone's surprise, it melts completely down. Godzilla, that creature is not. It melts down to plastic, and when he spots the guy, he fires some chemical, fire retardant, knocks him down, and with the Thing, he waves his hand, and boom, he falls through a hole. And I love how he's just classic villain, ha ha, I've outsmarted you guys again. But little does he know the Invisible Girl snuck on the atomic tank, and these guys are just basically discussing what's going on. You're getting an overview of what's going on, and Thing is just basically going off on Reed. He's still feeling that anger, for what's been done to him. And this is kind of like his monologue, like how he freaked out and he didn't like what happened to him, and how he saw Johnny turn into flame, but everyone could turn human. And he decided to help Reed. It's a very interesting story for Ben Grimm, and it does grow more and more. And I think it's so funny that he's in a full Fantastic Four suit. Him and Johnny start fighting, of course, their trademark fighting. Thing takes a swing at him, he flames on, they get into an argument. And this was, at the time, very different from a lot of the comic books. Superheroes didn't argue back in the day. But anyways, our miracle magician shows up with the atomic tank. So happy that he just stole it. And, of course, the Invisible Girl gets found out by a dog. Man's best friend, indeed. He hypnotizes her. She ends up firing the Fantastic Four gun, lays a smoke imprint of a 4. And Johnny Storm's just kind of sulking in his own milkshake, trying to figure out what to do, until he sees a signal and flames on. And now, Reed Richards and Ben Grimm are literally being held off by the magician with a giant key. Yeah, I am not making that up. Comics, people, what can I say? And the key turns into a machine gun. And he starts just letting loose, like it's the 1920s. Gangbusters. Boom, 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 boom. Reed Richards, of course, turns into a rubber ball and bounces away. And he, of course, takes a shot at Susie, and basically things bulletproof, so it doesn't really affect him. Human Torch sees basically what's going on. The villain's making his getaway, so they decide to take a car. And I love how the tire gets blown out, and Reed Richards has to substitute his own body for the wheel. They catch up to the tank. The Human Torch speeds off, does a blinding flash, temporary blinding the magician. Ben at this point is deciding that he ought to kill him. Reed kind of snaps him out of it. Like I said, Thing is a monster, sort of, at this point. Reed reveals that it's just a bunch of tricks, a lot of smoke and hokum, robots, and a lot of other science faking for magic. And of course, the Fantastic Four win the day. Yes, yes. And I'm the Comic Outlaw. I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, I will catch you on the flip side.